Hello and welcome to Ken Rosewall Arena as we round out round 4 of Suncorp Super Netball. It is a huge clash. You will have been living under a rock if you didn't know it was the New South Wales Swifts up against the West Coast Fever. The latter leaders heading to the east to take on the Swifts, and here is the lineups. Not too many changes. The Swifts pretty settled and the Fever incredibly settled. In fact, that's the exact 7 that they started with last week. This should be a huge clash. Cannot wait for it. And Paige Hadley, last week's player of the match, will kick us off here at the end of round 4 on Fox Netball. And already lots of pressure from the Fever.
Oh, that was just too easy, wasn't it? Some quick double plays. Maddie Proud's touched the ball 6 or 7 times already.
At least that. Lovely short passing play and working their way through. The pressure coming from the West Coast to open the scoring.
So this is an area to keep your eye on. Their centre pass conversion, as we mentioned in the opener, 84.7% is outstanding. So keep an eye on those structures and who's doing what. I reckon a lot of junior netballers will learn a lot from watching this West Coast side.
El Temu, Silver Fern, has a job to do against Janelle Fowler-Nembard. Tegan O'Shaughnessy getting closer to coming back, but still a week or 2 away. Housby dishes off as they look for a way in over the top to Wallace. Short, and Dehaney gets the first defensive rebound of the match.
Buddy's got attack obstruction. Contact, not offence. Buddy's not out, not offence.
Oh, Nembard, whoa. Trying to protect some space there in that one-on-one, and she's been guilty of offensive contact.
Doesn't give up much, but she didn't look too happy with that one. Turner on the transverse line looking for options, gets one through Hadley to Housby.
Well, little dribble round the corner. Smart work from Helen Housby. We know she can shoot that distance. Let's have a look at this offensive contact against Fowler-Nembard. Well, nothing in that at all from what we saw. So umpires maybe just stating their case early.
Ariang, Anstis. Everyone on the Fever. First look is down the middle channel. As they're used to going, and I think that's Nembard's 190th goal of the season in round 4.
Yeah, he's only missed 2. It's crazy, isn't it? Impressive stats. Sam Wallace, though, only missed 2 in regular time as well. She's just sitting at about 78 less.
Again, the little dribble and the same result. 3-2. Swifts, 3 minutes gone. The pride flags waving in this big crowd with every goal scored by the Red as Brown looks high, goes short.
Oh, too easy. What a great setup. That's that balance of the shooting circle I was talking about. You see Beckford take that drive front. The space at the back there for Fowler-Nembard. Beautiful 2 options.
Proud and Hadley, and again, Wallace receives on circle edge. Lovely little interplay, and this time it's Housby who finishes.
Look at the height mismatch between Sarah Clow and Beckford. And she's just been called for obstruction, which is interesting because she may not have been because the arms are so long over the shorter player. So she'll have to be careful of that.
That one had some heat on it from Teague Neal, but Fowler-Nembard equal to the task. Lovely little bit of weight there from Proud, and Wallace Joseph gets another. Both sides scoring freely. Fantastic attack as contact from the captain.
Offside, goal attack.
Well, again, two options. One, a little bit high. Can she keep it in? Brown, well, she does. Only for Anstis to be shoved out of court.
Goal third.
Let's have a look at the Harvey Norman replay on this one, and she's pushed it into Proud. Ended up being a clever piece of play. I thought that the Fever were going to be the ones to blink first, but not to be. They get a second chance, and it is honoured.
What a luxury to be able to step into a silver fern on your shot and still not have issue with getting that goal, son. Only Janelle Fallon-Emmard can do that.
That is true. They continue to trade blows as we approach the midway point of the opening quarter. The last game of round 4 here on Fox Netball, as Turner pressures Brown, and now again they look down the middle, and just the wingspan and the stretch. Too good for Clow. Here's the Harvey Norman replay. High and perfect.
Well, as is that. When they just take that breath, that little pause, that's an easy one over the top between Housby and Wallace-Joseph.
Hardly a mistake made in this opening exchanges. Marianne Teague-Neal decides not to go. Oh, that's a beautiful pass from Brown.
Didn't have to be too high, that one. Just waited for Sarah Clow's eyes to be down.
But what I'm loving from the Swifts defensive end at the moment is that they're changing between their styles. They're not doing the same thing over and over again. And then again in that attack end, they're getting some really great depth on second phase and now enabling access to Wallace-Joseph there at the post. So a good signs early for the Swifts.
Oh, ball!
Steele, lovely ball again. Same spot, same result. No, leaves it short. A perfect record from last week. As
she's
being
allowed
spoiled.
to have one hiccup.
No,
Just one.
No.
You're tough.
That's Janelle Fallon-Emmard. She doesn't make mistakes. Proud looks, waits. Hadley provides the option.
This Swifts attack line, very patient for mine. This is the most patient I've
There's
seen
a
them.
mistake from Dehaney. I heard you.
Clow, beautiful tip. Slows up the play a bit, gives them a chance to get back into the defensive setups, which is all important when you're trying to slow that ball down. Here's the Harvey Norman replay. Clow just getting in front.
Nice inner play. Third received from Beckford.
Patience both sides.
Ugly high shot.
First one for Beckford.
All right, mini advantage then for the Fever. 1 goal up and the centre pass.
Inside.
And now 10-8, 7 minutes to go in the first.
Oh,
Already an important possession. Lets it go well, Housby.
yeah, that was a great centre pass setup. You can see Maddie Proud didn't even go for that centre pass. She was wholly focused on getting some depth in that second phase.
Advantage offside centre.
Goal for goal for goal for goal.
That's it. That's what we want. 10-9. Possession for the Fever as we approach the first power 5. And it's just too easy.
And that's that textbook play that we talked about before the game, the one that goes to Beckford, back to Brown, Teague-Neal on top of the circle and straight into Fowler. So they have to shut that down, work harder on that first phase defence.
Reset for the Swifts. Starting to get a little more difficult as they find a way in through Wallace-Joseph, and that's too long.
Well, one of the few cracks that showed, there's only been 3 turnovers in this opening quarter. So both sides been really clinical with the ball in hand, and Maddie Proud won't like the fact that it's come off her hand.
Well, they're working hard, the Swifts, and it is working. And Housby and Proud sit atop the Nissan net points. And they've had to do plenty of work circle edge to find their way in, which they have been. It's been a little easier into Fowler. And that is the first HCF tactical timeout, and it is called by Bryony Akel with the biggest deficit thus far of this one. 3 goals it is, and we will listen in just a second and see what Akel has to say.
You're going to goal defence. Guys, just come off for me. Yeah. This one. Ali's going into goal defence. You're going to keeper. Yeah? You're going to... Ali's goal defence. Oh, yeah, yes, do that. Okay, bring it in here. So just listen. We're very lateral looking sideways. Turn all our body around to see post. Get them off you. We just keep going inside. Quick! Use your face. 3. Right, let's stay in this. Let's go. We've been in control, so we just keep going. It's just little things. It's not us. We're doing so good in defence. Let's keep working. Let's go. Here we go. Let's go, Al.
There is the captain, Maddie Proud, wearing the Pride bib, and she is sitting on top of the Nissan net points at the moment. Kelsey Brown has put herself up there as well. Housby was there or thereabouts, but she's dropped out of the top 5, and so Maddie Proud sitting, representing the home team, as the Fever with 3 in hand, 9 seconds to go till the power 5 and the centre pass.
And we've seen 3 changes made for the New South Wales Swifts. Clow's gone back to keeper, Ali Smith into goal defence, and Sophie Fawns in at goal shooter.
Here's the Harvey Norman replay, and immediately Sarah Clow tries to make things a little difficult. Little wry smile, didn't quite get there that time as the buzzer goes for the power 5. So Fawns brought on for the opportunity. Super shots alongside Housby. And Helen Housby averaging 7 super shots each game, and we thought about that being the first one, and it will be. From Fawns, her first touch of the ball, and it is successful, 13-11.
Well, that's why she's been brought into the mix. Fawns sitting on 5 from 11 super shots for the season. So under 50%, she'll like that one falling. Well, have a look at this. Well, up by 2 already, but they really want to hurt here. Fowler has been good from this distance this season.
Really just adding another string to her bow if she needed any more. Fowler Nemard, and immediately they respond. Gap back out to 4. Same position on court for Fawns. This time, same result. So these 2 teams are showing us exactly what quality netball is all about. Hardly a mistake, hardly a penalty in the opening quarter. 3 super shots in a row, no mistakes. And this is why this is the best competition in the world. And this time it's Beckford's turn. The result.
Good. Wow, it is all happening up that end. Fowler's taking the ball on 1 foot, 1 hand.
And I'm loving this game of chess being played by the coaches. We can see Fran Williams about to enter the game. I think that's obviously to come on against the mover and Sophie Fawns. So looking forward to seeing how the coaches go up against each other in this battle.
Well, Ansteth's lucky to keep possession there. Looked like she'd batted the ball to herself. Whoa.
Little hip and shoulder, Housby on Brown. And there is Kelsey Brown immediately turning and releasing.
And you can see too, though, Kelsey Brown holding up 1 finger, as in, let's just go to the post, take the one. We don't need to be doing anything else. Probably a few reasons. Let's talk about the defensive change for the Swifts. Clow obviously knows how to play Fowler. Nemard's done it a stack of times and had good result, but for me it's probably more out the front. Clow and the mismatch on Beckford. It's a hard one for both of them to play on. For Clow as a taller player, trying to find a shorter player is actually a real challenge. So this lineup with Smith now, I think, is a better one. Oh, another beautiful ball.
That was a ball that it needed to be too.
Well, it's the choice of pass is where they're winning out here, the West Coast Fever.
Both teams playing freely, and at this stage, suddenly it's gone out to 6, and the Swifts rely on Fawns again. She wants the same position, and she gets it. And under significant pressure, does not crack. Back to 4, 2 minutes to go in the quarter.
Sophie Fawns 3 from 3, Suncorp super shots, hasn't got a shot up in regular time, just come on.
The specialist.
But the good stuff.
Clow again flies high.
Oh, I felt she was unlucky
Getting
there.
closer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Turner nearly turns it over. As the boos ring around Ken Rosewell, I didn't like it. Beckford turns her super shot again, drains it. They do not make a mistake, the Fever, and they've notched up 21 goals in the quarter, and yet it's been a reasonably even quarter, such as the quality of netball this afternoon. Fawns, and wouldn't be a Swifts game without Maddie Proud on the deck at some point, and again, the crowd don't like that as Proud puts herself back in play, and the Fever look to take advantage.
Options everywhere for the West Coast Fever. They turn, they've got at least one, most cases two, right in front of them.
And just every time they have the ball, Kath, they look so calm, so relaxed. They know that someone's going to come. There's just no panic on their face ever. They are very well, oiled machine at the moment.
Well drilled, and just the 2 turnovers, Dill, which is incredible given this context.
And suddenly that score has ballooned out in the dying moments of the opening quarter to 8 goals. And Housby needs this super shot to keep the Swifts around it, but doesn't get it and doesn't get the call either. And the buzzer will beat the Fever 23-15 in what was a more even quarter than that. And the Swifts will need to look for answers in the second quarter coming up right after this.
Guys, come on in. Amazing start to this game. Worked your way into it. Awesome. 100% centre passes converted. 0% print moments for our opposition. And dominated the super shot period, which we know is danger time. So well done. Great impact, great hustle, awesome effort. Fantastic. Right, every single one of you. Brilliant work here in attack.
Well, quarter time brought to you by Origin Energy, and Dan Ryan was extremely happy, and why not? Centre pass to goal rate 100%, 16 from 16. Turnover to goal rate 100% as well. Missed shot conversion 100%. There's nothing you can be upset about.
Yeah, that's exactly why he sounded the way he did. He was absolutely wrapped, wasn't he? But he still wants more in the centre pass, interestingly enough. He was wanting them to trust each other and saying that whoever has the line, he wants them to be able to just give them the time to get out. Don't wait and wonder if they're going to do it and start to come as a backup. Just trust each other in that moment so that they don't give up that second phase. But, I mean, they haven't stuffed one up yet, so he's
Yeah, splitting hairs, Dan. Splitting hairs, mate. 100% of everything. Played almost the perfect quarter of netball, the West Coast Fever, and the Swifts, well, there's not many teams who could stay with them, even to the extent of 8 goals when you're playing at that kind of level. The Swifts need to make some changes to their game.
Yeah, interesting to note Helen Housby, a couple of misses in the super shots at the end of that game. She's only missed 3 for the season. She just missed 2 then. So let's see if she can get that radar back on.
Sophie Fawns, on the other hand, 3 from 3 for the super shot and 0 from 0 for other shots thus far. As the centre pass goes to Kelsey Brown and the Fever, and immediately to Beckford. And can they pick up where they left off? Ansters looks, goes back. I haven't seen that too many times as the Swifts defence hustles, working their way up into the forward third. Fowler Nemard, 17 of 18. Beckford 4 from 4. Wallace Joseph, on the other hand, 7 from 8.
And from the Swifts huddle at quarter time, Bryony was obviously trying to get that energy up, really just reiterating what that game plan was. Wants ball speed and attack to be able to open up around the circle. And here's an opportunity for the Swifts. They'll be really keen to convert here. And she wants really early hands in defence like you saw them, which was able to work in their favour. They've gone back to that starting lineup from the start of the game too.
Thanks, Dylan. Great to have the Australian men's captain offering his insights from the opposite sideline.
He knows a thing or two, doesn't he?
And I was sitting in this exact seat last week, and the Giants had their opportunities, but they couldn't convert from those turnovers. And the Swifts, if they're going to stay in this one, need to make sure they do that. And this is their first real opportunity. There was a turnover, really, from the Fever in the opening quarter.
Oh, look at the hustle going on there. Wallace Joseph, every time she's challenged for a ball, or she's gone to take one, someone right behind her. Is this pass going in? Oh, call me crazy. Did that come off Sam Wallace's hand? Might have been lucky to keep that one and explain the face on Fran Williams.
Housby, Wallace. Split was nice, finish was nice, and the Swifts move to within 6. Brown looks to restart quickly. Beckford has to go back.
Beckford is really smart. If you keep an eye at her, are going to find the body. She is a shorter player. She goes and finds the bigger bodies. She creates some space. She comes off at that last minute. It's become a real part of her play, particularly on those centre passes.
So Temu's back up against Fowler Nemard. Klaus seemed to be doing good work there, so I wonder, Kath, why the change back?
Oh,
as the tip comes. And the Fever earn the turnover.
Look, I think it's about continually mixing it up on someone like Fowler Nemard. You don't want to let her get into the rhythm of the same kind of defence. Keeps her on her toes. It also gives the Feeders something else to think about, exactly like that, when there's a change-up of defender. So a couple of wins they've had at the start of this quarter.
Turnover rate's gone through the roof from both sides. We're up to 3.
Where did that first quarter clinical performance go? Oh, God, they're testing Wallace Joseph, though. Those balls aren't even near her. Having to make something out of nothing.
Well, we're witnessing 2 of the best goal shooters in the league, in the world, going about their business. Teague kneeled, middle channel, goes to the pocket to Brown, and immediately in the front.
Yeah, look, there's that obstruction again. So Timu very confident that she was a distance as they come up with another ball. That's 3 wins for the Swifts defence end to start this quarter.
Gap, though, only gone from 8 to 6, but
it's like they've all just upped the ante tenfold in terms of speed. Doesn't look anywhere near as controlled as it did in the first.
And we've seen Sophie Fawns come onto the court in goal attack, so she's replacing Helen Housby, potentially due to the work of Sunday Ariang and how much work she's doing out the front there. So we'll see how she comes out into the game at goal attack.
Well, Helen Housby, obviously a player they wanted to pinpoint and annoy early. We saw the work on the centre pass. They were even sandwiching her then and trying to get her to move and create different space. So there's plenty of work happening off the ball to try and frustrate.
Oh, absolutely. And Sunday Ariang is wearing her like a glove. Everywhere she's going, she's with her. So we'll see how she adjusts now, Ariang, to a different player.
5 gone in the second quarter, and the gap has halved to 4 goals as the Swifts come back into this one in front of a big home crowd. Sunday afternoon on Fox.
Oh!
And another call, and Bryony Akel, you can see top of screen, is out of her seat.
As is Dan Ryan, but for very different reasons. Centre pass conversion slipped down to 86% now.
Centre contact. Contact goalkeeper. Yes, you're pushing. Down here. Yes.
Wallace Joseph picks up another one. 7-2 in that run, and you can see the last 10 goals. It's gone from 8 to 3 and an HCF tactical timeout.
Everyone in nice and close here, guys.
We're going to listen in again to the Swifts.
First one, but don't always have it on your back because they're coming through. So me first, you get the wide back, get on, like, you know the stuff we're doing at training about 1, 2, 3. Just keep doing those repeated.
Stay there. Yeah, no, keep staying. Keep being that target because if they're letting Soph go, you're being a target. They can give you the ball in that. There's no way. Just keep holding strong and I'll work. They cannot get the ball from you if it's placed nicely. But just efficiency, okay? Get the ball, think about what we're doing. We fake it, we step back, we take a breath and we put it. Let's do some beers, knee on the line.
And not fly out, just keep pinning. Look at your big arms.
Let's go.
Let's go,
Great
you.
job.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's do it.
1, 2, 3 in. Out. 0-0. We start again. Let's go.
Let's go, Austin!
Had plenty of one-on-one instruction there from the coaching staff to Matty Proud and Sam Wallace-Joseph up the attacking end.
Yeah, you saw Nat Avellino, an attacking specialist, played for the Australian Diamonds herself as a shooter in a wing attack. Plenty of knowledge, but talking to Sam Joseph about saying you are a target, you are going to get hit, just stand strong, and Fawns is going to work around her.
And they've obviously brought Dehaney back on at goalkeeper, and you can see a change in centre as well, with Brown going off and Kransberg coming on.
And that's something we've seen quite regularly. That's not because Kelsey Brown was having a bad game or anything. It's just fresh legs, a different something in the mid-court. Kransberg's been good for them.
Yeah, she's played each game, the 24-year-old. So far this season, played some minutes, and there she is, ball in hand. And 3 possessions down court, and eventually feeding Fowler Nemard. Back to 3 for a second within 2, and it's 8-3 this quarter as Kransberg loses a footing.
Oh,
and outside, Ariang flies.
how good was that? She was a mile away.
Really fell out of your seat there, Coxie.
Oh, I love it.
Let's have
Have
a
a look
look.
at this. Look how long that sat in the air, and she had to go full stretch to get a touch on it. Well read. What an athlete.
Got there easily in the end. 2 steps, the arm went out, and that was it. And it goes from 2, it goes back to 5, and that's what the Fever can do.
How much has Sunday Ariang blossomed without Courtney Bruce there? Just been giving that opportunity, regular court time, having an outstanding season.
I also think now she's that experienced player in that defence, and she's got a new lease on what her role is and her responsibility, and she's absolutely stepped it up.
Got it offside, centre.
Good patience from Hadley. Goes it twice, and the Swifts back to 4 as Kransberg kicks us off again. 7 minutes to go in the half.
Oh, Timu. That is a really hard one to call and a hard situation to be in because she looks like she's holding her ground at the initial distance. Fowler's stepping into it. Let's have a look on this Harvey Norman replay. Fowler steps in almost every time. Timu doesn't have to move, but they're calling her for contact on the ball because she's moving her hand. Oh, difficult.
Bonus time take on keeper.
Fawns restarts. Hadley waiting and under all sorts of pressure. Wallace-Joseph creates a little bit of space in front. Proud still leading the Nissan net points. Brown still chasing her. Those two, obviously Brown off court at the moment, but he's got through a power of work and has been so good for the Fever. I wonder why the Mavericks didn't want to pick her up.
I'm sure they're regretting that now. Yeah.
Yep. Can't jinx you if we're commentating together.
Can't run away. I think the big difference in this quarter defensively for the Swifts is they've stopped those little passes the West Coast Fever were doing around the edge of the circle. That means they can't get closer for that easier feed into Fowler Nemard. Having to pass them a little bit further away. Oh, that time Dehaney.
Oh, Dehaney. Such long arms. And Proud had no space to work with. Gets it back though. 10-7 as this quarter tightens up. And we hear the Power 5 buzzer. Harvey Norman replay. Throw it over the Great Wall of China from that distance. Dehaney so tall.
And we've got Helen Housby re-entering the play at goal shooter just in time for the Power 5.
Oh,
Errant one and Cloud the beneficiary, and they head straight down court. Fawns, Proud and Housby. Dylan said back on. Both good shooters from range, and Dehaney does to Housby what Housby did to Brown in the opening quarter.
well, that is the game plan with Helen Housby. They've been doing it from the get-go. Here's that Harvey Norman replay. Probably one of the easiest ones Sarah Cloud's going to take. There's Helen Housby taking the floorboards.
Proud and then top of super shot range. Fawns to go within one and nails it. And the Swifts are on the way back. It is one goal. It was 8 at quarter time. 14-7 in this quarter. And still 3:50 to go. Beckford in the pocket.
How did the West Coast Fever go from scoring 23 to now only sitting on 7?
And their game has somewhat fallen apart. You're right, 23 in the opening quarter, 7 in this quarter with 3:30 to go.
Well, Dan Ryan will be scratching his head and plotting for this halftime speech already, I'm sure.
Shoulder. Outside.
Proud to Fawns, and this will put the roof off Ken Rosewall Arena, and does, and they hit the front. 31-30, the Swifts have found another gear.
5 from 5. Suncorp super shot, Sophie Fawns. Only 1 from 1 in regular time. Outstanding entrance to the game. God, watch out if Helen Housby can find her radar. That's been shooting at 88% from this distance all season.
Why not just diss it off to Fawns for a 6th and another 6 from 6. 18-7 in this quarter now with 2.5 on the clock, and the Fever have some questions to answer. Gransberg, this time she stumbles and there's a reach for the ball. They need a settler badly to the away side. Beckford's been solid from this distance, and she lines up very high arc. Good result. And we are back to 1. Could have heard a pin drop during that super shot.
Netball crowds are so polite, aren't they?
Fickle, they're a fickle bunch.
Well, it's the other side of the court for Fawns.
For number 7, no good. Had to end somewhere as Gransberg comes up with it. And 1:40 left. The Swifts up by 2. Will we be locked up at halftime? Teague, Neal, Anstis, and they look for a way through. Williams gets a touch on and Beckford spills it out of court.
And these are just some uncharacteristic mistakes by the Fever. I guess this is the first time all season where they've been in this chase position besides that first quarter last week. So it's interesting to see how they respond.
They only lost their first quarter of the season last week and a stepping call. So that's when the frustrations creep in. It's those little things, those 1%ers as we call them. Got to nail those things.
The Swifts, though, they're good with that pressure run when they go up-tempo and they can turn a run of 2 or 3 goals into a run of 6 or 7, but things like that can halt that run. Even though there's only 45 seconds to go in the half, they want to finish well and they want to finish in front, and at the moment they're 1 in front with 40 seconds on the clock and a centre pass to the Fever. Look to run it all the way down.
Oh.
Williams, the English rose, just outside of Sophie Fawn's outstretched fingers. Hadley called out, and this one will put the Fever back in front. Really came down with snow on it from Beckford.
Well, the annoying thing is she'll get another shot at it, literally.
This should wrap us up. And this for the lead. No mistake, nothing but net, and another Suncorp super shot, and we have an absolute classic on our hands. The Fever have gone up by 1, pushed all the way in an 18-11 quarter. But West Coast, well, they will not be happy having scored 23 in the opening period. They were cut to less than 50% in that one, and the crowd has lit up for this one, knowing that there is going to be a classic couple of quarters to round out round 4 here on Fox Netball, 34-33. Welcome back to Western Sydney and Ken Rosewall Arena, where the Swifts fans are enjoying every single minute of this one, especially the second quarter, which was won 18 goals to 12. The Fever, though, retain a 2-goal lead. It was 8 goals in the opening quarter, and Dan Ryan will have had some choice words to say, and if we're lucky, we can get a chat to him as this third quarter begins. Helen Housby spent a couple of extra minutes practicing her shooting from range. She was quite quiet in the second quarter when she came on, but Sophie Fawn's absolutely lit it up with 6 of 7 super shots. But Housby has been great from the white stripe in the previous games, and if they are to stay in this one, the Swifts are going to need to continue to pile the pressure on the West Coast Fever, who haven't really been pushed like this so far this season. Only the Mavericks got within double digits of them, 69-62 last week, before then, of course, making their breakthrough win yesterday against the Sunshine Coast Lightning. And now we kick off this one once again. Kath Cox and Dylan Nex have joined me, as she did in the opening quarter. Paige Hadley. And just as I say that, Dan Ryan must have been listening, because he's put the headset on, and we would have liked to talk to you, Dan, after the opening quarter. Maybe not so much at halftime. What was the message to the troops after that second quarter?
Yeah, really about just getting back onto task. I think we lost our way a little bit in that second quarter, but, you know, credit to the Swifts. I think they really stepped up their defensive pressure, and they had a massive super shot period. So, yeah, no margin is comfortable against a team like the Swifts, so hopefully we can respond in this third quarter.
Dan, 8 turnovers for the game, 6 of them coming in that second quarter. Are you putting that down to the defensive pressure?
A little bit of both. I just thought we lost our focus when it became a little bit chaotic out there, and we knew that was going to happen. So just want to make sure that we keep our heads a little bit more, I guess, focused in those moments where it does get a little bit pressurised and a little bit scrappy as well.
Timu is having a field day down there in defence for the New South Wales Swifts. Now, how do you take her out of this contest?
I think our pass placement's most important, and also just the threats out the front of the circle equally important too. So you just got to lock in a little bit now with our execution, and hopefully it can make a difference.
Well, you felt all the emotions over the last half an hour, Dan, so good luck with the next half.
Cheers, guys.
As points at either end. The Swifts with a couple, and the centre pass with the Fever. So 2-1 on possession to kick this one off. And it was such a high quality opening stanza of netball in the first period, and then the pressure just really ramped up in the second. the crack started to show. And what this next quarter brings, well, that's anyone's guess. Nice and steady from both teams to start, though, as the gap remains 2.
And interestingly, we can see no Sunday Ariang out there for the start of this quarter, but they've opted for Fran Williams at goal defence. So we've got Rose's teammates, Housby and Williams, going up against each other.
Yeah, well, Fran Williams, a couple of gains when she came on. So she did the job, and Dan Ryan rewarding her to a degree, keeping her out there.
It's a nice defensive end for the Fever. You can choose between a Jamaican international, an English rose,
or
a diamond.
diamond.
Which one do you want? Pick 2 of 3. Hadley, hands on 1. Contact, though.
Beckford, plenty of offers. Had both of her mid-quarters ball side and available. And, of course, the big target that is Fowler Nemard, who has just had the 1 miss, 25 from 26. 96%.
Switch of play, Turner, Hadley, and back again to Proud as they look for space and find it.
Well, it's a good ball. You can see the West Coast Fever just sitting off the body, trying to create some space in a little bit of a zone. The space behind was there.
There's the stats for the Swifts. Wallace Joseph, 21 of 22. So, getting the numbers up. Fowler Nemard now 27 of 28. And he's just going to tick over. And Beckford 3 from 4, and then faultless on the super shot. So the goal attack's doing the job they need to do, and Housby needs to add her name into that list.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like Helen Housby is playing at about 60%. But she's got so much more to give, and particularly in a contest like this, so keep an eye on her. Well,
Good
Kelsey
from
Brown, she's put 3 of those spectacular balls in, and you notice they've been flat because they've been quick, and they've just gone through that gap when there's a tiny bit of space and time to let them go.
And the timing has been elite. She's got a good, strong target, but she's had to thread the needle.
Oh, Sam Wallace could not have screamed for that anymore. She was wearing Dehaney behind her, knew that if that ball went, she would have got the penalty. Exactly what's happened.
Back to 1, Harvey Norman replay, and you can see exactly that. Had that space that she needed to draw the whistle. Oh, Temu comes flying out.
Great presence of mind, though, from Beckford, because she knew Sarah Clow was still in there. Had to wait for her to run past the play. What a brilliant second phase. Housby to Proud.
Payoff, though.
Yeah, no, not rewarded.
I was just about to say, who's going to blink first as they spend the first 5 minutes scoring off their centre passes, and it is the Swifts that do, and out to 3 it goes.
Kelsey Brown is completely disrespecting Sarah Clow, and I say that in a good way, and that she's just pipping those balls with such confidence. It's like the Australian Diamond's not even there.
HCF tactical timeout. We're going to listen in once again to the Swifts.
Keep connected to that. That's the ball to go for, but not overrun it. Do you know what I mean? Like, judge it. But I think just stay on yours. Yeah? Keep sagging. If they don't like it, you get 3 set, more opportunity. Hands to a sag. And it's literally going quite deep into the pocket. They're not heading for middle. Have a look for pocket. That's where they're heading. I know they'll get one. Okay, hands in here. One thing we need to do is get onto loose balls. If we throw the ball away, we all watch and go, who's going to get it? We need to pounce in those moments. They're the ones that matter. Yep. When the ball's on the ground and there's no Swift running towards the ball. Yep. Must see it. Let's go here. Let's go. Swifts go. Bang!
As so often happens after a period of intense pressure, which the Swifts brought in the second quarter, it has settled into a little bit of a shooting match to see exactly how this one's going to play out in the third quarter.
Really interested
Standoff.
Will. Really interested to hear Bryony Ackles say loose balls get onto them. The Swifts are one of the best at the competition in pickups. So the fact that they're not doing it, that's one they can easily adjust.
Start off again through Brown, ball in her hand, and immediately lets it go. She has no hesitation. She's been playing. It feels like she's been playing in this team for years. Knows exactly where her teammates are. Here's the last 10 goals, 6 of them belonging to the team in green. And by virtue of that, they've doubled their half-time deficit to 4. Wallace Joseph notches up the 40th goal, though, for the Swifts. Playing a much cleaner brand of netball, the Fever, in this quarter.
Yeah, unlike, oh, look at Fowler's face. Didn't like that attention.
Temu's having a game, though.
She is. She's having a brilliant game. And it's about being disruptive. You don't necessarily have to get a clean intercept every single time, but the job of a defender is to intimidate. Get those cracks to start to show. Very few cracks. There's been one from Fowler Nemard, as you can see there. Yeah.
The single crack.
Solitary crack.
Hadley. Top of circle. Nice reach and good finish from Wallace Joseph.
The idea defensively from Dehaney, I think, is good, in that she's standing behind Wallace trying to force a high, but at the moment she's happy to shoot from there.
Fever scoring easily, though, in response as they're back to 4. 10-8 the quarter. Clow. Fawns is on. As Housby has another.
Unlucky Arian. I thought she read that beautifully, and she's done that a couple of times, anticipated the pass as it's coming down court. We'll see, we have a look at this Harvey Norman replay. Well, it looked like she had the first hand on it. Hard to tell from that angle.
Get the grip on it from Proud, though.
Yeah, well, Maddie Proud sniff of a ball. Fowler keeps it in.
Temu anticipates that one and picks it up. Good work from Fowler Nemard to keep it in, though. Still, we continue, and Fawns, who has put Housby on the exercise bike for another stint, and come back on as we approach again the Power 5. Gap back to 2, centre pass Swifts. Ball to 3. Couldn't find the option. And gives a little wind out of the sails, Dylan.
You've just felt a little change in the energy in this stadium. I think both teams have now, they just settled into this third quarter, but just ramping it up a bit. So expect a big last 6 minutes here.
As the bodies start to hit the ground.
And eventually a miscommunication between the Sunshine Girls, and Temu comes up with it.
Well, the reason the Swifts got down court so quickly is the Fever all stood there and looked at each other.
What? We made a mistake. We don't do that. As Hadley runs into, is that Beckford? 1 goal, 6 minutes. And you're right, Dylan, suddenly you can feel the wave of energy ripple through this arena. As they can feel the Swifts starting to steady into their work.
Is it a good time to remind people now the results in the last time these two sides played each other?
Oh, there's Ariad flies again. Dehaney picks up. Well, just the vision to see that ball coming before it's let go. Harvey Norman replay.
All
Perfect
over
timing.
it. Yeah, she's been brilliant.
But just her ability to get that power off one leg and just fly at that ball is incredible.
Last 2 games between these two sides in the preliminary final, round 9, won the difference. And could be heading that way again as we see Helen Housby back on the court in at goal shooter.
We are in the Power 5 now, and Beckford 4 from 4, and another one. Well, it's just too easy, isn't it? Out to 5, Suncorp super shots, absolutely raining from the heavens here at Ken Rosewall. And now they've got the Swifts both their super shot specialists. I'll say that a couple of times quickly. And Fawns is the one with the hot hand at the moment. Looks good out the hand, no mistake. Return fire from the home side, back to 3.
Well, Sarah Cloud trying to describe to the umpire what's happening, and his answer was short and sweet. No, not buying it.
Wants it from a specific spot. And another one, 6 from 6. Anything you can do, Sophie Fawns, I can do better, says Shanice Beckford.
They are up there for a long time. Well, this is the person I want to see find the radar, though. The best in the business this year, Helen Housby, has not sunk one. Hasn't needed to.
Fawns for number 8, I think. Flatter shot. Doesn't sink this time. She's under plenty of pressure that time as Dehaney reels it in, does she? No.
Free pass.
Replay call. Oh, here she is, Helen Housby. Can she sink one?
Important shot. This one looks good, not good.
So 3 misses tonight is what she's had the entire season for Suncorp Super Shots. She'll be very disappointed. Not to say she can't turn that around.
Well, she'll need to as it's out to 5. And possession as Clow over the top of Brown. Ariang, and the Swifts are up and about. Hand on from Fawns, couldn't reel it in.
Yeah, a long way from home to be penalised for Sarah Clow. Got to make up some distance here.
Just over 2.5 to go in the third quarter of this scintillating display of netball between these two finals contenders. But it's gone to 6. You can see the quarter breakdown, 17-13. The Fever have had the best of it in this one, and it looks like the Swifts might need to find that gear that they were playing in the second quarter if they're going to turn this one into yet another classic in a history of classics between these two sides. 3 of 4 of the last 4 separated by 1 goal, and the Swifts have had the best of that, including 65-64 twice in a row last season.
Really interesting here. Helen Housby has been, the penalty went against Ariang. It was her shot to take. She's put it down and let Fawns take it.
Yeah.
That speaks a lot, doesn't it?
I know, from the English Roses veteran to the, well, still one of the lesser experienced players in this team in Sophie Fawns. But when you're on, you're on. And Maddie Proud tirelessly working away in the Nissan net points and chased, as she has been the entire game, by a host of Fever players.
And Fever have just done an excellent job just taking out all the risk in their attack line. They've got options, 2 options for everything. They're seeing the best one, they're giving it, and that's why they've been able to apply that scoreboard pressure.
Just did not look like a confident shot from Housby.
Oh,
Yeah.
circle means Bella Nemart home. Any happier? Hard to tell.
He doesn't want to count his chickens after what happened in the second quarter, and we hope that this game turns again and turns into another hard-fought encounter, but at the moment it's going to go back out to 8 in the dying seconds of this third quarter, 21-15.
Have a look at that last 10. Wow, what a way to finish.
And if this is a Housby super shot, oh, it's not even going to be. It's going to be a turnover with 30 seconds to go, and this could be a heartbreaker for the home team. Taking their time to work it around and then firing it in to a game-high lead of 9 goals and the centre pass. 5 seconds on the clock.
Well, Will, the New South Wales Swifts haven't won a third quarter. Still have not won a third quarter.
And they didn't just lose that one, they lost it by 7 goals. So the Fever, from a 12-goal quarter to a 22-goal quarter, up by 9. Can the Swifts come back? We'll find out right after this break.
Lead hand on that transverse line, run to find them, block them out, then look for balls, then we get hands up. We're running with our hands up. Does that make sense? So there's no power or you're not fast running to get there. Hands find hands. Right? We need turnovers through that mid-court. Yeah.
The instructions there from Bryony Akel. They came from 8 goals down against the Firebirds last week, and now they have to come back from 9 goals down against the West Coast Fever. Quarter time, or 3-quarter time, thanks to Origin Energy, and some changes again. Lily Gorman-Brown is on in wing attack. Sam Wallace-Joseph is back on in goal shooter. There is Lily Gorman-Brown from the Sutherland Shire, the 24-year-old, part of a pathway player, I suppose. Elevated as a training partner, played in the grand final last year actually against the Thunderbirds. Featured in a couple of games so far, hasn't played many minutes though, and this is a big challenge for her up against Jess Anstis.
As you can imagine, the Fever huddle was quite positive. Dan was really, really happy with how they responded after halftime. Super impressed with the work rate, the intent in attack. Talked about controlling that middle channel, and really happy with Kelsey Brown and how she come back in that third quarter and her execution into that circle.
Thanks, Dylan. The Fever have their strongest lineup out there. And they lost the fourth quarter last week, actually, against the Mavericks, and they don't want a repeat of that, especially after what happened in the second quarter this time around. Housby needs to switch on and show us exactly why she's one of the most highly regarded players in this competition.
Helen Housby is running an absolute marathon, and every time she makes a move, she's got a Fever player on her.
Yeah.
Only shooting at 43% for this game, courtesy of 4 missed super shots. That is a long way up in the air. Very similar to the style of shot from Beckford.
Well, she knows exactly where her Jamaican teammate is, and there she is right there.
In the rafters.
Yep. Bombs away, that one going the way of the Fever. So Housby under all sorts of pressure from Ariang.
Well, even if Sunday Ariang doesn't have big numbers, which she does, she deserves the MVP of this game for me, just at this point in time, given how much she's taken Housby out of this contest.
And that footwork on centre pass is just elite level. That is insane. Sitting here, it's only 2 metres in front of me. The way that she is moving is incredible.
Should we tell Dill this is elite level?
I got that. I get it.
I am unqualified to correct the Australian men's captain.
Okay, well, it's a level after elite, whatever that is.
Well, they've gone back to finding Fowler Nemar with ease, really minus the hands over defence. They're getting closer to the circle here, so the Swifts need to pick up that defence as they did in that second quarter.
Proud to restart. Housby, and they're looking for a way through, find one, back space to Wallace-Joseph. 10 goals now, 13 minutes on the clock. Beckford. Teague kneeled high and under pressure.
What's too easy, though, isn't it, to Fowler Nemar? She had 2 on her at that stage, and they're still happy to let it fly. So where's the disconnect? Where's that great defensive pressure that was there in that second quarter for the Swifts?
Look at that record of shooting for Fowler Nemar.
Housby, look at her, running and running and running with no reward. And a lot of it, she keeps looking around to see where Wallace-Joseph is. I'd rather she just ignore that and demand the ball herself and get it into this contest. And that's not the way to do it. An offensive contact.
Well, that's just another little cut in what has been a second half full of little cuts for the Swifts. and it's 11 goals and down, streaming down court go the Fever as they look to match the Vixens on 16 competition points. They'll go number 1, 2 with a superior percentage. But there's still just under 12 minutes to play and 12 goals the gap.
And I think at the moment what's setting Fever apart from the rest of this competition is that they're able to bring their best for longer periods of time compared to other teams. So we saw the Swifts being able to respond in that second quarter, but the Fever responded, and they haven't just responded, they've pushed even further ahead.
That's right, they've paired a 22-15 third quarter with a 6-2 start to this fourth quarter, and that is not how the Swifts wanted to start. Gorman Brown. Smith, a touch on it.
What can't
Kelsey
Brown do? Absolutely on fire since she's come back on the court.
And Housby has been benched for the third time in this one.
Contact goalkeeper.
Yeah, certainly
Seen
not.
that for a while.
No, not the night for her.
And then Fawns drops 2 short. Doesn't like to shoot from normal 1-point range. There we go, that was further out, so no problem.
We can see Paige Hadley waiting off the court just as we see that Harvey Norman replay, waiting to enter the game again. Now, she was part of the side when it had that brilliant defensive effort in that second quarter. Likewise, though, was Maddie Turner, who looks like she might be about to re-enter as well.
And Hadley is on, Smith is off, and last-minute instructions for Turner as they look to turn up that pressure cooker again and bring the crowd into this one.
Oh, look at the look from Paige Hadley to the umpire. Well, that was better. Nice, short, sharp play from the Swifts. Got it to circle edge. Gets him in good shooting range. They need more of that.
Still 12, Harvey Norman replay.
Have a look at this. The challenge was from behind, rightly so. Paige Hadley, long time having a look directly at the ump.
Oh, just out of the fingertips of Fawns. Anstis, high and again, nearly Turner.
Defense contact on the top. Circle edge, yes.
And now we're back out to what has been the biggest gap of this match, 13 goals. And they've got the A-team on, the Swifts, as they look for anything to spark a comeback. And lovely little play down the baseline from Fawns through Wallace-Joseph. Something different.
Yeah, Wallace-Joseph smart to hold the ball there until she'd pass the defender.
Could that be the moment? No, ball goes out of court off Fawns. They need a couple to fall their way if they're going to get back into it. Temu just working so hard, right on the edge of legality, I suppose.
Fowler, her 50th. So she was 50 from 50 last week, sitting at 50 from 51. Just the one miss. Oh, Ariane again. What an incredible season. I've said it already, I know that, but has been brilliant. And he seems to be getting better every game.
And there's such a strong directive coming from the bench too. They're up and about, all of them, the coaches, the players, and they are wanting the players, this Fever team on court, to really push this out. There's a lot of direction back, get ball. And we can see Fever threw that one away, but they'll have a crack to try to get this back. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, Dill, as we just see Ariane have another fly, because you can see it on their faces. There's no smiling, there's no enjoying good netball or anything out there. They're focused on just doing their job at the time properly. Whether that's the catch, the pass, whatever it is, not making any mistakes. They really want to bury this Swifts lineup.
Which I think for them would be the enjoyable part.
Of course. They can smile later.
You're happy after. Dehaney gets a hand on another one. Working well at the back there with Ariane to disrupt this Swifts attack.
Centre obstruction. obstruction. Step back. Yeah, centre beside. Got an obstruction wing defence.
Back to 12, and it's been sitting there for a few minutes now as time becomes the enemy. And Kelsey Brown has been tireless in the midcourt.
Oh, that just got to its target. That one, though, again, the choice of pass, and we heard Dan Ryan saying that when I asked him what they needed to improve on in that third quarter, is that it was the choice of pass. Simple as that. That's where the Swifts were starting to pick up some turnover ball.
Benefiting from that exact play a few times now, the Swifts, but they're not making any inroads whatsoever in what is going to be a solid score from Fever Brown. Looked like she lost it there for a second, but regained and immediately let it go, and it was on point as well.
Really interested to see here in 36 seconds if Helen Housby enters the game again. She's still sitting on the bench for the New South Wales Swifts. We know she's off the radar tonight, but one of the best from distance. They may need her.
Well, she's jumping on the exercise bike, so she's warming back up a little bit. She's leaving it quite late, though, as Fawns from range. And there she is on the exercise bike, so I'm not sure whether we're going to see her or not, but we are going to see a HCF tactical timeout with a big job to do for the Swifts. I'm not even sure they can get back from 12, but we've seen stranger things happen. And we'll see what the lineup looks like as we listen in once again.
So Helen's going back into goal attack. We'll isolate Sammy to then refeed it back into the 2. Okay, that's what we're good at. Just let's work the L's. L, in, rather than no court balls. Let's get our wing defense and goal defense. Ball side, quick, 1 down. Right, we need to score quickly. 2 turnovers, right? Here, just have a look and then run to the defensive spot rather than hands up and then you run. Like, you basically got hands, then you look and then you go. Just have a little scan to see where they're coming. Run to that. Let's go, come on. 5 minutes, yeah, let's go. Let's start it out. Let's go, guys, all set. Who does more?
Okay, our suspicions are confirmed. But there is no Sophie Fawns out on court, which is interesting.
It seems interesting, doesn't it, just given where the game sits at the moment. Housby's shot 4 super shots, hasn't sunk one yet. And Bryony Akel just saying there, it's 2 turnovers. They score off their centre passes, they get a couple of turnovers. That can end up being 10 points pretty quickly.
It needs to be pretty quick too, as the hooter goes again. Power 5 time is on, the last one of round 4. Fever in possession and in control. Teague Neal, front space, foul and Nemard, and they notch up goal number 70. Fowler 54 now from 55 at her customary 98%, which she's shooting for the season.
Well, one through the hands of Sam Wallace-Joseph doesn't help the Swifts, so does it? And look how quickly they're down court because Kelsey Brown put the Jets on and everyone just had to get out of her way.
That's it.
Let's do us! Let's go!
Look at those numbers. Some impressive ones in regular time for Fowler Nemard and impressive ones in super shot time for Beckford.
Beckford has really made this already incredibly strong team stronger with her inclusion in the lineup. Another fantastic international who has joined Suncorp Super Netball and made it that little bit better. Mariang, Anstis, Teague Neal has been tireless. Brown high.
Playing with some real maturity here, the Fever. They're not rushing to take penalties. They're trying to eat up as much time as the clock as they can.
I really can't understand why Sophie Fawns is not on the court. It's 72-57. Needs to be able to shoot, and instead it's Sam Wallace-Joseph to shoot high, and maybe that's why. Super shot coming. Well, that issue and all the others will be dissected on Pivot straight after this with Hannah Hollis and special guest. Recently elected to the board of Netball Australia, Liz Ellis. She's never shy of an opinion, so looking forward to that one. $14 goals, Housby. Wallace-Joseph looking for a way in or a way off court.
Well, Ariang just going for the ball has done enough to spook Paige Hadley. She didn't attempt to catch it, and they lost possession. What a performance here, the West Coast Fever. Aside from that second quarter where they only scored the 12 goals and they went down by 6, they've been in complete control. And as you just mentioned before, everyone's done their job too. There's your score breakdown per quarter.
Yeah, it's really an anomaly, that second quarter, to be able to pull it back from that much of a drop-off from probably a nearly perfect opening quarter and resume normal programming for the Fever. That's a damning statistic too. 32 penalties only from West Coast.
Well, of this 7 on court right now, the lowest Nissan net point sits at 46. That's some impressive work.
Not easy as a wing defence to pick up Nissan net points for Jess Anstis, but sitting on 573.5 HCF tactical timeout. And we're going to listen in to Dan Ryan on this one as they look to close it out with 1:50 on the clock.
Job for 58 minutes. All right, so let's close out this game. 3 new players on the court. Let's finish with West Coast Fever standards. All right, so keep our scoreboard going. Let's see if we can win one more ball in defence, guys. All right, everyone together. Let's go.
New players coming in. Let's settle them, put ball in their hands, and let them do their job. Fever, Fever, Fever!
Let's go!
Happy Dan's back. Good to see Happy Dan back. We lost him there for a quarter. He's back again. There he is with a big smile on his face. Yeah. All right, 1:49 to go as we wrap this one up and then dissect everything on Pivot straight afterwards. And the crowd sticking around though. They're very loyal, the Swift supporters. They love every second of netball they can get. Bit of argy-bargy out there for no reason off screen from Val.
Do you know what I love about this though? Wilkinson's on. She's the rookie. She's the youngster. Fowler's out there almost like get off her, protecting her own.
On the left-hand side of the screen.
Just gone in there.
Oh, you love to see it. Immediate whistle. Kranzberg back on as well.
How good would that make Wilkinson feel though in that moment? She's protected. She's out there doing a job for her team.
Girl.
Exactly. Love that.
High, too high for Clow. Had to be pinpoint, it was. Anstis to reset. Housby anticipates, not quickly enough though. A touch for the rookie and probably goal number 59 for Fowler Nemard, and is 75 for the West Coast Fever. And the brakes have been put on the Swifts, who have had their lowest scoring quarter with 11 thus far. Wallace-Joseph scored the super shot from this exact spot last time, not to be done this time. Great work from Housby though to keep it in.
They cannot find Helen Housby. This defensive effort on her has been second to none.
And Housby hits the deck, and the Fever, don't worry about that. They are already 2/3 of the way down court. Transberg, lovely work, and a shot. Isn't far off.
Oh, look at Fallon Emmard. She wants it in the arc.
She's been better from this range, as you said, Kath, and the buzzer beats everyone. It is, in the end, a 16-goal victory after the Fever righted the ship in the second half and poured on 40 goals in the third and fourth quarter to 26 for the Swifts. And West Coast have returned fire after the Vixens had a win over the Firebirds earlier on this afternoon. The Fever go 4 from 4 to start season 2024. And